Hello, this is a great day. Last night I slept like a rock because I planned ahead for that. This morning I've had 3 cups of coffee, a nice breakfast, and topped it all off with a great cigar. It's a great day and I'm ready to roll, and I hope you are too. I'd like to say hello to Eddie, my friend from California, Hollywood to be exact. I'm glad to be able to bring this message to you this morning. We're going to talk about leadership as an influence. Leadership is influencing other people to cooperate with you in accomplishing a goal or set of goals that is important and beneficial to both you and those who help you. Would you like to be known as a leader who influences others and is successful in getting things done because of that characteristic, that talent that you have? Well, that's what we're talking about this morning. We need to have people cooperate with us. We can't go it alone in this life, and we need to have people cooperate with us in order to accomplish the things that we want to do. Now, how are we going to influence people? You appeal to their interest. Ben Franklin probably said it best. He said, if you would persuade, appeal to people's interests. You must appeal to their interests. You're not going to change anybody forcefully. You can only cause them to change by convincing them to change, and you convince them to change by appealing to their interests. They're going to do what they're interested in. You won't force anybody to change to do something that they don't want to do. So the key is, let's help them want to do what we want them to do. Now, I'm not talking about manipulating people. I'm talking about the legitimate activities of accomplishing a goal that is beneficial both to you as the leader and to your people and to the company that you all work for, or that you may own, you may work for it, but whatever the case, it is a legitimate goal. You're trying to accomplish a legitimate goal for the benefit of everybody. Zig Ziglar said the same thing in a little different way. What Zig said was, you can have anything you want in life if you help enough other people get what they want. So what do they want? Now, are we supposed to sit down and interview each person and fulfill his wish list? No, that's not what I'm talking about at all. Let's look at the human race for a second. Each and every one of us is unique. Each one of us is different from the other. We look different. We have distinguishing characteristics that others don't have. Others have distinguishing characteristics that we do not have. But we all are very different and very unique. We may have different political views, different religious views, come from different walks of life. We have different habits. We have different traditions. We come from different cultures. And we must bring these all together to function as a team towards the accomplishment of a goal that benefits us all. And we need to get into the people's interests. Well, while we are all very different and very unique, it's also helpful to realize that we are all the same. I know that sounds paradoxical, and it is paradoxical. However, we all have some of the same characteristics also. Some of those same characteristics will give us the information we need to know about what interests our people. Everybody wants to be recognized. Jot that down for me. Everybody wants to be recognized. So we need to recognize our people for their positive traits, for the accomplishments that they make. A gentleman that surveyed probably half of the world to find out what would cause people to be willing to relocate internationally, to move to a foreign country in order to find a better opportunity, the number one thing on the list was not money. The people said that what they would require more than anything else in order to relocate to a foreign country was appreciation. So that's number 2 on your list. Number 1 is recognition. Number 2 is appreciation. People want to be appreciated for who they are. They want to be appreciated for what they accomplish. You need to find something about each of the people on your team that you can appreciate. And even if you can't find a reason to appreciate them because of what they have done or what they do, if you can't find a reason that's legitimate, now these have to be legitimate reasons. You can't just appreciate somebody for some fantasy. It has to be for a legitimate reason. That reason can even be what you see as their potential. It doesn't have to be something that they actually demonstrate today. Again, I know that sounds paradoxical, but guess what? Life is full of paradoxes. It's full of contrasts. You can't appreciate being full unless you've been hungry. One of the best stories, best leadership lessons that I have ever seen comes to us from the Bible in the book of Judges. The time was a bad time for Israel, who the story is about. It was a time that God says that he was not happy with them. So they were being overrun by the Midianites. Not exactly overrun in the military sense, but the Midianites and the Amalekites were coming against them and stealing their crops, stealing their livestock. They were taking away all their wealth. And they outnumbered Israel, and Israel was cowering in fear of the Midianites and Amalekites. Well, there was one man in there named Gideon, and Gideon was hiding, threshing wheat, as the scene opens in the story. He's hiding and threshing wheat, trying to keep this wheat from falling into the hands of the Midianites who were coming to take it. What happened here was Israel did all the work. They planted the seed, they calved the calves and kidded the goats, and they raised them up, and when it was time for harvest, the Midianites would come and steal their goods. So the Midianites were getting a free lunch, and Israel was losing their wealth, and were probably to the point of being hungry most of the time. And Gideon is hiding and trying to thresh some wheat to save some food for him and his people. The Lord came to Gideon, it said, and addressed him as a mighty man of valor. Now here's a coward. He's hiding. He's not willing to fight. He doesn't think there's any way we can do anything about this, so I'm just going to try and surreptitiously gather what I can gather for our people. And the Lord calls him a mighty man of valor. Well, as the story progresses, Gideon challenged the Lord and asked him to prove that it was him that was talking, and so on and so forth. And once Gideon got on the same sheet of music with the Lord, he listened to the Lord's plan. He executed the Lord's plan. He went up against the Midianites and caused the Midianites to kill each other off. This was an absolute tremendous victory. So the point here is that Gideon was a coward, but the greatest leader that's ever been known, God himself, comes to Gideon and calls him a mighty man of valor. How many mighty men of valor do you have on your team? They may not look like it now. How many people do you have that can improve the production that they make? They can improve that production, and will most likely improve that production when you tell them that you see their potential and you think that they can win the battle of underproducing. So recognize your people either for what they have done, what they are doing, or even recognize them for the potential that you know they have. In addition, we all want knowledge. A person who does not want knowledge is not going to go very far. They need the knowledge, and they need to be educated in order to acquire the knowledge. Then as a leader, you can lead them to also understanding of the knowledge and to wisdom in the use of the knowledge. As a leader, you have much power if you use leadership skills as opposed to pressure that you can apply because of your leadership position and the authority that goes with it. Along with the authority also comes responsibility. Your people want to be dealt with honestly. You need to deal with them in an honest, straightforward, straight-shooting way. They need to know that they can count on you to communicate with them and that there won't be any question about what they are to do or what needs to be done, what their role is, how they fit in the team, how they fit next to the person next to them on the left and on the right. Your people are interested in innovation. They want to innovate. They want to create. These are things that almost everybody, you have to understand, there's exceptions to every rule, and these apply to most everybody. If there's somebody that they do not apply to, then that person may not be suitable to remain on your team or may need to have his position changed to be where he's functioning from his strengths rather than from his weaknesses. George S. Patton, General Patton of World War II fame, said, "Never tell a person how to do something." A very powerful general said, "Don't tell people how to do things." In other words, don't micromanage. Patton went on to say that if you tell people what to do, they will amaze you with their ingenuity. So just tell them what to do, leave them some room to imaginate, to innovate on how it's done, and set yourself up to be amazed by their ingenuity. This is not too hard, is it? I won't say that it's not hard. I'll say that it's not difficult, but it may be hard, but it may not be hard either. Your people want to accomplish something. You need to set them up so that they can accomplish. And you probably say, well, that's what I'm after all the time. That's why I'm here. I want them to accomplish. Well, you need to set up an atmosphere conducive to their accomplishing of the goals that you and the team have set. You can do this by creating an atmosphere, an environment in which they are physically, mentally, and emotionally safe to function. even safe to fail. That happens too. But failure is a stepping stone towards success. So nobody wants to go home at the end of the day and say, I spun my wheels all day, I expended a whole lot of energy, worked up a sweat, and didn't accomplish a thing. They want to go home knowing in their hearts that they have made a contribution, that they have improved things within the team, within the company, that they want to have this sense of accomplishment. So give them something to do that they can accomplish. And a part of this is matching up people's strengths with their jobs as much as it's possible to do. The people are interested in believing that they are important. They want to know that the team won't be quite the same without them. And in most people's cases, this can be true. There may be some that it would never be true for, and in that case, that's another person that may not belong on your team. And your people need sufficient pay. In the survey that this gentleman did that I was mentioning earlier, the 8th item down the list of important things was pay. Their salary is not going to, you're not going to retain people on salary alone. Salary is a part of it, and they need to be paid for what they do. But people quickly become dissatisfied with their salary. Once they get into it, they may go for a job interview and they're thinking in their heart, they're thinking, oh gosh, I hope I get this job. I got to get it. I'll do anything for the job. I'll be the best worker that they ever had. And after he's had paychecks, 2 or 3 paychecks, everything starts leveling out on the financial front. And he starts then complaining about how management mismanages things. He starts complaining and maybe whining, maybe not, but they're, complaining, and the salary is no longer that important. It would become important again if he lost it, but most people don't think that far ahead. They see only what is close to them as being important. So if they feel fairly secure in their job, after they get a couple of paychecks, they start slacking off. So they need something more than just money to keep them interested in their job. They need the satisfaction of accomplishment. They need the recognition that pumps them up and keeps them going. They need the appreciation that makes them feel valuable and important. And respect is the underlying key to all of these items. This list is not exhaustive by any means, but these are some things to get you started, that if you will start meeting your people's interests in these areas, interact with them, and learn more about what their interests are personally, you will be better equipped to meet their interests. And if you can continuously meet their interests, then you can continuously improve the team. And you do it individual by individual. Respect is not something that you will get just because you're in a position of authority. You will more likely get challenged because you're in a position of authority. They want to check and see if you can hold up under the pressure that they can exert. They want to see if you're the king of the mount or if they are king of the mount. And you need to be prepared whenever you take over leadership of new people. You need to be watching for the one or the two that are going to challenge you and test you. And you need to be ready to meet that challenge in a way that strengthens those people. They may need that it depends on whether or not they need to be disciplined. There is a time for discipline, and if that's the case, then you'll have to discipline as necessary. But hopefully, most cases can be settled by simply encouraging that person, by strengthening him and redirecting his energies that he's using to challenge you. You will gain the respect of your people by respecting them first. Respect your people first, and they will respect you. You attract what you are, and you are what you think. So you will attract what you are. If you want to be a respected person, be a respectful person. It's all about the people that we are. It's not so much about what we do as it is about what we are. You must be respectful in order to get respect. In order to be respectful, you have to think about respect, about being respectful, so that they will think about being respected. As the leader, it is your example that serves as the direction, the roadmap that your people will follow. Always set the example of what you want to see your people do, even when they're slow to come around. Sometimes they are slow. When they are slow to come around, you keep setting the example, and as you set that example, they will end up and turn around and follow you. If they can't stand the pressure, they may depart the area, and if that's the way they are, then that gives you the opportunity to replace them with someone who has the attitude that an attitude that will respond to the leadership that is given. So let's get with it. Let's go. It's a great day. Let's roll out of here and let's start appealing to the interests of our people in order to get them to cooperate with us in the accomplishment of the goals that will benefit them and us.